Hi everybody, this is Cindy over at paper.old.new. Welcome back. This is one of those videos I'm trying to fit in between my Thrifty Thursday videos, so we're going to do a little bit of, I'm going to show you what I'm doing to process some of the stuff that you've seen in the decluttering videos so far, and I wanted to show you, because I mentioned these little file folder things. When I showed you the back of a scrap pad, there were these punch outs. There was a whole sheet of these punch outs, and I had mentioned that I was turning them into little booklets. So not only did I turn one into a little booklet, I did my first pamphlet stitch of a booklet, because I've never done it before, and it turned out pretty good, so I'm going to share that with you. But first I wanted to show you how I'm processing some of the fabrics and stuff that I showed you. Just a couple of things. This is the placemat. Do you guys remember this placemat when I first started showing you fabrics? Basically what I'm doing is I'm ripping this. I mean, I'm sure all of you know how to use a seam ripper. I'm not going to sit here and rip this whole thing. But I'm ripping this open because, first of all, I can get 2 book covers out of it. Now, as I'm ripping it, it's ripping the stitch that's holding the batting to the back of the fabric. And I was kind of hoping to have the batting on one side, but I mean, I can glue it down in layers if I really want to, I guess, or stitch it myself. But this was really thick. Together, it's 2 layers of fabric and a thing of batting, and it just seemed really thick for a book cover to me. So I was ripping this apart because I think, see if I can, because I have 2 sides. I have 3 sides done. So let me show you. I've also, I think I mentioned this in another, I have done a lot of processing of the 39 Clues books. So here's one of the 39 Clues books that I have taken the, excuse me, sorry about that, taken the text block out of. And if you notice, I can actually probably get 2 of these covered with this. So I can get one here, and then maybe one there, maybe not. I don't know. But with that half, maybe I'll cut the flowers out. So if I use this half with more flowers on it to cover a book, then maybe I'll cut the flowers out of the other half. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I can definitely get some extra mileage out of it if I split it in half. And I just thought it was a little too puffy to use, a little too thick, especially if I'm going to be gluing it down to bookboard. I didn't know how well it would hold if the fabric was really thick. I'm sure some of you guys have already done it, and I'm sure I'll learn that it would be fine, but as long as I use the right glue and enough of it. But anyway, so that was my thought process behind this. So I have that entire stack of placemats that I'm going to sit in front of the TV and watch some of you guys do interesting and fun things on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't comment when I watch on TV, but I'm going to watch on TV while I sit and rip placemats. So this is one of the things I'm doing to process out some of the stuff that I have already decluttered and showed you guys. I will also do this to the pillowcases and to those little drawstring bags. I think I showed you guys those. The other thing I started doing was this blue sheet that I showed you. I think it was like the first thing I showed you. I started cutting the very worn, very old, very not elastic anymore elastic off of it. Okay, just to get it to, because it's a fitted sheet, or at least it was. Just to get it to the point where it's flat. And what I was noticing as I cut it was it looks a lot like an edge ruffle. So rather than just get rid of it, I thought it would be fun to add it to stuff. So this is gonna get saved. And I didn't even realize that I was gonna be saving it because I wasn't really paying any attention, and I thought this would be the trash, like just, but it's not going to be. I'm going to put this, I'm going to cut it into pieces and glue it to tags or books or, you know, whatever. So I got some pre-made ruffle here. So just something to consider if you decide to go through and get rid of sheets and use them for material. Don't throw away the fitted sheet elastic. It'll make good ruffles. Also, I showed you ribbon and I showed you those stamps. I have these boxes. I'm just going to try and show you this real quick. I don't know if you're able to see it. I have these boxes, and you unlock this and you open it up, and there's these trays in it. So there's trays, and then there's these deep, there's this one that's got deep trays in it. Can you see that? You can see how I got all my ribbon in there. So this is what I've been organizing stuff into, and one of the boxes, spoiler alert, because this is going to show you some stamps that you haven't actually seen on video, but I've recorded already. I'm kind of recording and hoarding videos on my computer to upload. Anyway, you guys remember these? I showed you these alphabet stamps. Remember these? I did get the ones that that had been used. I did get them clean. Can you see that? I did get... They are a little hard, though. So I guess the ink's sitting on them for too long. I'm not a stamper, so I didn't know. But anyway, so I organized these into... just so that I could have space for numbers also. And, like... symbols, question marks, and stuff like that. Because future videos, spoiler alert, I also bought... a thing of typeset letters that had these punctuation marks in it. So anyway, it's 2 letters per box. So this is A and B stamps, this is C and D stamps, etc. Because I knew that if I did not organize these, there's no way that I was going to be able to make anything with them, because I would be spending so much time hunting through them looking for the right letters. So now that I've got them organized kind of like this, I should be able to use them. I don't know if this is boring to you guys or not, but I just thought I'd share that with you. So that's kind of where I am with some of the processing I've done for the things that you guys have already seen. These little folders, I started with this little guy, okay, and I turned him into this little guy. So it's got, I did a 5-hole pamphlet stitch because each one of these has this in it. And I was afraid if I did 3 holes, because you would do 3 holes, one here, and one here. And the hole for this, the 2 holes at the top and bottom would probably end up in this lace border, which 1 hole in the center in actual paper and then the other 2 holes in, I thought that would come loose. So I did a really tiny 5-hole pamphlet stitch. It was my first shot at it. It seemed to work okay. I'm using this embroidery, this cross-stitch floss that is kind of graduated color. So it goes from a pale tan up to this kind of coffee color, tea color brown, which I thought was appropriate for these kind of aged folders. Anyway, so it turned out like this. There are these little pieces of scrapbook paper that I cut down. Each one has a coffee dyed sheet. Each one has several pieces of scrapbook paper that aren't coffee dyed. Each one has a doily. Each one has, this is more scrapbook paper. Also, I forgot it in this one, but each one of these is supposed to have, so there's the coffee dyed sheet again, and there's the sheet, and then there you have it. So it's ready to be decorated and then tucked in a pocket. I was so excited, guys, because this was my first one. This is my first signature being stitched. This is my first book being made. This was my first one. I have some little tabs. I like the idea of gluing little tabs to these, so I did leave string to glue little tabs to. But yeah, this was my first one, so I'm so excited. And I'm going to do one with you guys so I can show you what I did. The one thing that this is missing is I got this little pad of paper from St. Jude's Hospital. St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I had to cut the logo off only because it was too long to fit in the book. This is supposed to be the center page with the flowers with the dragonfly, and I forgot it in this one. So we're going to try and remember it in the other one. I have 8 of these little folders. I've made 8 little packets. You can see them sitting up here. Each one I grab a doily when I make it. I go through the papers and set them the way I want them in whatever order that I think they look nice. Oh, I also cut. There's a set of, each one has a decal cut page in it also. So both ends are decal cut on one page. Anyway, so that's what I did. I will admit that I have misplaced my pokey tool. So what I've used to make this book, because I made it right before I recorded this video. What I used was, I already poked holes. I eyeballed 5 holes in this folder. I don't know if you can see them because they're kind of small. But I eyeballed them. I've been using my seam ripper, guys. Because this is so small and there's so few pages to go through, it works. Until I find my pokey tool, this is what I got. And since I'm just making these little guys, hopefully by the time I need to make actual signatures for anything, I will have found my actual pokey tool. Okay, so we set this on here, right? I don't have a template or anything for this. I've just been kind of, I do have these big binder clips, so I clip it together so that it doesn't move. I fold it kind of inside out so that I can use the holes in the cover as my guide. And I find the center one and then poke through the paper all the way through. And I don't know if you can see it came out the other end. So this works for now. So we poke this one and this one. This one. And whoop, make sure I get that in the right spot, because this one's close to the end, so I don't want it to be too close. Okay, and that one. Alright, and like I said, I just kind of eyeballed these. I did the center one first in the cover, and then I did the ends, and then I stuck these in the center of the, uh-oh, the page shifted. So I've got some out of line holes. Alright, so, but we're going to stitch it, and hopefully it'll just work. So we go through, see if I do this right. I did this from memory after watching a video. Pull it till I get a tail. Then we're going to go up through this one. And we're going to go up through the second hole from the top. Pull it tight. Go in through the top hole. Pull that tight. Now I came back up through this hole. So what I did was I kind of pulled that off to the side, because everything I've seen says don't go through the thread like that. And with this cross stitch floss, it's really easy to do. So, oops, pulled a little too tight there. With this cross stitch floss, going through the thread that you've already done is really, really easy. Okay, there we go. So that didn't go through the thread. It made the hole a little bigger though. So, and then I skip the middle. I know there are some methods that do the middle. I skip it and go down to this hole. Let's see if I can get that to line up. Okay. We're going to pull this down to the bottom just so that my string, I keep going off camera, I'm sorry guys, I'm pulling it toward me because I'm struggling with it. And then we're going to go back through this hole in the back like that. The other thing I'm still learning to do is do things on film. Okay, and then we're going to go down through here, careful not to pierce our thread. So let's make sure we don't pierce the back thread. Go back down through there. And then what I did was I pulled this sideways, and I don't know if you can see, I pulled this because you're supposed to have one on either side of that center line. So I pulled that sideways and then aimed for the other side so that it would go on the other side of it. And then I just pull it tight and tie it off. And now I've made 2. Guys, I'm excited. I'm finally getting started. This was a lot of fun. I mean, this is something, again, you could do sitting in front of the TV, I feel like, just because, I mean, of course it would have to be something that you're listening to more than you're paying attention to, but, because you have to watch what you're doing. Alright, now I'm just going to cut, what do I do with my scissors? I'm just going to cut this off and make it even. And there you go, guys. I have done 2 now. I have 2 little pocket journals. I am really excited. This one has writing on it, so I guess it kind of has to go this way. Normally I was stitching it in with the idea of the flowers going on the bottom corner, but it doesn't really, I mean, they don't look bad up there either, so either way is fine. But if I turn it the other way, the letters are upside down. I know that doesn't bother some people. If it's the only thing on the page, though, it kind of bugs me. So that's just me. So yeah, so I have this, and that makes 2 of them. Like I said, I have more folders with little booklets, all these different. Now they're all going to have basically the same pages in them, just because I went and made the pages ahead of time. I'll have to pay attention. This one has writing on it too. And I have 6 more to do. These all here. So I don't know, I guess I can show you what I did as far as, so I just eyeball these. So I hit middle and punch it, and then I go down here near the end and I punch it through, and then I just eyeball middle between this hole, between the top hole and the center hole. I just eyeball it and punch it through. So I don't know if you can you see that? And then I eyeball it again and punch it through. I don't know if you can actually see the holes. Maybe if I don't know. But yeah, so that gives me another cover with holes ready to go. And so this is going to be just a short little crafting video. I appreciate you guys stopping by, check out what I'm doing, where I'm at in my process. If I do another process video, I'll try to do a little crafting at the end or the beginning, either way, just so that, you know, I'm showing you where I'm at, showing you my ideas for what I'm, how I'm storing stuff and keeping it, and you know, any little crafts that I've started, maybe I can, you know, show you. I want to make some I want to watch some mask making videos, because guys, since I've been shooting videos, I have busted up several books. So I have a drawer full of text blocks. So what I'm looking to do is, some of them will need aging, some of them won't, but some of them will need aging. Just because I'm one of those ones that's not into the bright white. Not everywhere. I mean, a page or two here and there popped in a journal won't bother me, but I don't necessarily want my book pages to be bright white, because I use them to accent all kinds of stuff. So I feel like they should be aged. Like those folders, these folders, all this discoloration on these folders, that happened just from wherever they were stored. I must have stored them in something that didn't protect them well from aging, so they discolored. But so I have a ton of text block, and I've been seeing lots of great videos that I've saved for watching later about using up book page for all kinds of different cool things. So I'm gonna sit down at some point and watch a mass make video and practice making something, and then maybe come and show you my version of it. But But yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me and checking out what I'm doing. And I'm really excited that I got to do one of these with you, and that I have finally started, made a start at learning to stitch signatures. So now I won't be quite so timid about getting started on a big journal. There they are. And like I said, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.